All right, here we go. That should be coming up soon. All right. There we go. All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Early Morning Crypto Talk. Brandon Ivey from Los Angeles, California. Go ahead and type your name in the chat box where you're listening in from. As a disclaimer, I am not a licensed financial advisor to be giving financial advice. I share information for educational, entertainment, and training purposes only, and it is up to you to make your own informed, intelligent decision on which direction you want to move into. So, good morning. Good morning. I'm in a good mood today. I hope you guys are as well. This has been a tough week in LA. But I got something in the mail. You see this? Our new ILCA logo. Miss Costa surprised me with the new Christmas gift, saying, "Hey, I got something I know you're gonna like," and it fits. So thank you, Marnita. All right. So speaking of, we have Marnita on the line and CJ Jackson, Mr. Albert, Carla Arrigo, Daryl Weston, Deborah, Don, Dorothy Mays, Elijah Morgan, Jacqueline, Janelle, Joyce Easley, Catherine Clement, Kenny Taylor, Leonard Long, Nathan Hansberger, Nicholas Nesbitt, Patty Geis, Rita, San Diego's representing, Stan Thompson, Wild Bill. Good morning, good morning, good morning. What is that, Leonard? It's another windy day. Apartment just went on 12 off. 12 on and 12 off. Yeah. Uh, 20 days until I joined the check of the, oh, you're about to be out of there. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, so it's been a tough week for us here in Southern California. We've had Santa Ana winds before. In fact, the city where I live in Laverne, California, in the 90s, there was one specific windstorm that was so bad. We have historic tree line. Well, we had a historic tree line in our city. This is before the 210 freeway connected from where Glendora, San Dimas ended and connected all the way to the 15. Before that, it ended in Laverne. And if you ever saw the movie The Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, I think that's it, about Savannah, Georgia, where you see those overhanging trees. It's beautiful. That's what Laverne used to be. And that windstorm came in and just uprooted them 100-year-old trees. Sidewalks all pulled up. That was the biggest storm I can remember in my life here in LA County. But this past one hit differently. I was watching the Weather Channel. They were saying, describing how it came through the canyons from a different angle than normal. However the jet stream was doing. And for those of you who don't know Santa Ana winds, think of like a hurricane or a tornado, but in a jet stream and not moving, just for 8 hours, just constant 100 miles an hour wind in a direction and sweeping through the mountains and the canyons. I know the trucks on the freeways tip over. Ontario Airport has to shut down. I asked my brother because he went to Costa Rica. He flew out Tuesday or Wednesday morning. I went no Tuesday night, and I was like, "How the hell is he able to leave?" And my dad told me he left out of LAX, so I knew he wasn't going to be able to leave out of Ontario. But whether these fires were natural or man-made, the wind just made it even. Is like a blowtorch is basically what it was. If you've seen Pacific Palisades, it's gone. The whole like what happened in Hawaii. So there's a lot of damage, a lot of luckily though not that many much loss of life. There has been, but good friends of mine, my wife's when we got married, her one of her maid of honors, their house, and I'll show you guys this. This was just amazing. I didn't know about what happened with them. Where is that clip? Right here. I'm going to share screen just to share with the little of you guys that's not in California that's wondering how we are out here and what's going on. Where I live, I'm not in any danger of fires. We already had the bridge fire and everything a couple of months ago, but the winds and the smoke is very bad. But let's take a look at this. I know this house. This is right in the back. That's James. on it for 30 years. It's just amazing. I mean, right up to some of the other houses on the street. The roof's caught fire, but thankfully they were able to save the house that burned. Look how close we got. These are very, very good friends of ours, but there's other friends of ours that lost everything. So we're mindful of that, and we're not out of the woods yet. I think the Palisades fire is only 3% contained. The Altadena one 0% containment. And we have a lull where this weekend is supposed to be calm as far as the winds, but on Monday it picks up. That's how it goes. Yeah, on Monday it's supposed to pick up again, and we're still in a red flag warning out here in California. So just pray for all the people. Oh, you can hear me now. So pray for all the people that's still out there in danger, and it's not over yet. So let's get into some crypto talk today. Today's going to be a busy day. I'm not going to be long on this crypto talk. Just a few news bites to get into. I am doing the MoveQuest presentation at the top of the hour, and tonight we're doing a special broadcast on what are the top risks happening in 2025. Ian Bremmer's top risks for 2025. We're going to go over that tonight. First broadcast, special broadcast for the Inner Circle for 2025. This is probably going to take us a few days. So the next one, I'll do it tonight, and then Tuesday and Wednesday. Hopefully, we'll finish it on Wednesday night in lieu of our diamond class. So that's going to be tonight. So I'm really excited. I've been fighting hard not to read this article. I want to read it live with you guys so you can see my reaction live. So what's happening in the crypto world? Those of you on YouTube, if you want to be able to see that live tonight, you've got to be in our inner circle. It's not going to be open to the public. So you want to go to ilcacryptonews.com, ILCA, and I'll pull it up here because I don't have the YouTube in front of me. ilcacryptonews.com and register for our inner circle so that you won't miss that. It's important information. No matter whatever your political leanings are, what are some of the risks that we can be aware of and be prepared for? And that's what's most important. So what's going on in the crypto market this morning? Let me refresh. Okay, we're down 0.7% in the last 24 hours at 3.43 trillion. Bitcoin dominance is at 54.4%. Ethereum's at 11.5. Not too much change from Thursday when we did crypto talk. Bitcoin's at $94,000. Is it slightly down? But this is Saturday, so we're going to go week to week. Did I do last Saturday? Yes, I did. So we're going to go week to week. So a week ago, Bitcoin is down 3.4%. Ethereum, wow, that's a bigger drop. Ethereum is down 9.5% on the week. BNB is down 2.1%. What outside of California, major news this past week? Jimmy Carter passed away, and we've got the funeral procession for that. Trump is still talking about wanting to take over Greenland. John Jr. went over there. He wants to rename Gulf of Mexico into Gulf of America. He wants to take Canada. He wants to do more tariffs on Mexico. I think that's the last things I've heard him say. Uh, Nothing else that I could think of outside of California. I haven't really been paying attention what's going on in the world. Solana is down 13.1. I especially have not been paying attention to the Middle East. What's been going on with Hezbollah in Lebanon and also in Gaza? It's been quiet, maybe not quiet. It's just I haven't been paying attention to the news, so I need to familiarize myself. What's going on now that we're beginning of 2025? Tron is down 10.3. Avalanche is down 11.6. So the whole market mostly is in the red. Now, what are the outliers? Well, what's the first time we start seeing green here? Leo token and BitGet token. This is the outlier. So in crypto talk, you guys know what I say when you read the charts, I look at this like a picture. Which one's doing the opposite of everybody else? Going against the grain. So something special is going on with BitGet token, especially the last 24 hours, it's up 8.3%. Any other outlier here? Internet computers down 16.9. Oh yeah, that's right. Well, yeah, we're coming up to inauguration day. Day one. What is Trump gonna do? What will he not do that he said he's gonna do? Ukraine war is supposed to end on day one. He's gonna take over Gaza. I told you he wants to make Gaza a new beachfront property for Israel. Will he send in our military or allow Israel to just do whatever the hell they want to do? Because America's kind of try to hold them back a little bit. But if they still have American hostages, then Trump will have the ability to, or the argument to say, I'm gonna do whatever I need to do to get him out. And I, knowing how he thinks, who's in the news right now is that's irking Trump is the death of Jimmy Carter. And so, what is it, 20 days or so? They got to lower the flags at half mast. Trump not really happy about that. But one of Carter's biggest, in historical perspective, mistakes was the hostage crisis with Iran. He didn't go in there and grab those hostages like he should have. One of his biggest regrets. So Trump could use that. Or if I was his advisors, I would use that. I would say, if his goal is to go in and put military in Gaza, say, I'm not going to do what Carter did. We got American hostages over there. We're going to get them. Come hell or high water. It doesn't matter who gets hurt in the process. They should have let him go a year ago. That's what he's going to do. That's what he'll do. Yeah, yeah. Carter tried. It was a failure, but he stopped at that point. Didn't want to escalate. But let history decide whether that was a good move or not. Now, this virtual protocol is down 30% on the week. Wow, down 30%. All right. Fast token. Okay. Now, oh, MQT. You guys been paying attention to this? I have some insight, not so insight information on this. Oh yeah, yeah. China is trying to go after Greenland for their natural resources. Problem is China can't get Greenland's natural resources. They're controlled by Denmark, which is a part of NATO, which is an ally of the United States. The only way China is going to get that is if the United States says we're not going to back Denmark up, and nobody in NATO would. But they've been trying after that for since World War II. Mm, no, after the Korean War. I remember that it wasn't just China either. Russia. Okay. Look at MQT. A week ago, it was around the $9 range last Saturday. Now it's at $13, so it's jumped by $4. Why? Oh, I'm public right now, aren't I? Ooh. Okay, I'll save that for tonight for the inner circle. I'll save that part. So somebody remind me tonight to bring that up. But I will say this. I said it a week ago. This is the time that you want to buy when it was at $9. Anybody remember me saying that? I think I even put it in the MQ Builders group on WhatsApp. You might want to buy it right now. What Lynette did say publicly is that I got to go by what she said publicly. There are some organizations within the next week that are coming on board. They were waiting for the app to drop, but there's no timetable exactly on when it is. And this, I mean, we are way late on that, and they're tired of waiting. So they're just gonna pull the trigger anyway and just deal it when the app drops it, the app drops. And because of that, um, dang, I want to say more, but it's really just for the inner circle. Have you guys in the inner circle been paying attention to this? All that's all I'm just going to point to it. This activity. If you were here when MoveQuest got started and back in August, this should seem familiar. One, two, three, four. This little trend there. We haven't seen that in a while, have we? Again, there's a reason why. And there's a reason why all of a sudden you're seeing it now. So remember those in the inner circle, we had our private strategy, and I told you guys the very first one that there was a plan in place that was going to be executed at a certain time. Look, but we're seeing something now. So again, since we are public and all I'll say is public, you might want to get your hands on as much MQT as you can. There's supposed to be a new community coming on board that might double or triple the current size of the miners in the MQT. And when that happens, what happens to the value? It goes up. But here's something else that also is going to happen. The amount of MQT we get each day from mining will start to come down, but not immediately. So that means that whoever is mining now, you're going to be receiving the most MQT that we ever will. So you want to accumulate as much as you possibly can. If we've got 3,000 or 3,600 daily submissions going on right now, what happens? Well, one second, guys. 1 second here. All right, so what happens if all of a sudden there's 10,000 or 15,000 daily submissions and claims going on? What happens? So I'm just saying, a couple of things that I can't give advice. I would just suggest you might want to get your hands on as much MQT and then use that MQT and put them in the mind. You don't think I ain't been doing it? Not only have I been doing this, I've already remember I showed you guys my last wallet here of miners. I've used the hatchery and now I have 8 Titans because I got all those Vanguards and then I used the Vanguards and merged them into Titans. You guys remember me doing that? And I did that live for the inner circle. Now the hatchery is sitting at how much? 62.5%. So there's still about 64,000 MQT that can come into this hatchery. And I still got more to do on this one account. Yeah, I got all these in here right now, but I got more, another 167 MQT left in this wallet. So I need to add some AVAX in here, and I need to get another 8 Vanguards. So 20, how much money do I need to do? 24 times 8, $192. So I need to put $192 worth of AVAX in here so I can get 8 more Vanguards in the circulation in my system. Uh oh yeah. I'm public. Thank you for my I'm talking too much. Uh Giving strategies out just for under circle. All right. Getting excited because I know what's about to happen. And then I look at what if they no, shut up, Brandon. All right, next up, let's look at the news. The hatchery is good. I was doing it yesterday, Marnita. So anybody that had, I saw Marnita, Rita, a couple of others might have had some issues with the hatchery. And I saw one where it looked like it took my MQT but didn't give me the minor. And then when I refreshed, I saw my minor popped up. And then another time, my MQT popped right back up. But if you're still having any issues, send a direct message again to Lynette privately and also in the MQ Builders group again. Stay on that, keep posting that so that when they see more people that's doing that, that there might be an issue there. So that we can get on that. If you're still having any issues, guys. All right, 17 trillion million billion, $17 trillion in equity is leaving baby boomers' hands in massive wealth transfer. A massive impending wealth transfer will send trillions of dollars in home equity from baby boomers to their children, according to a new report from Freddie Mac. The U.S. government-sponsored mortgage loan corporation says $17 trillion of home equity is about to be handed over to the children of those born before 1964. Dang, I got another decade before. Yeah, I'm in 1976. So handed over to the children. Wait. Oh, that's me because my parents were born in the 50s. Handed over to the children of those born before 1964. Okay. So that's the baby boomers. Citing data from the Federal Reserve, Freddie Mac reports that boomers hold 50% of all home equity in the United States, which amounts to 17.3 trillion as of second quarter 2024. Really, the millennials are going to benefit even more than Gen X. I'm Gen X. We're kind of that feral lost generation. There's more millennials than there are us, and it's kind of skipping. Even if you look at the new incoming vice president, he's a millennial. What is he, 40, 41? And so we went from Donald Trump, the baby boomer era, skip Gen X because Kamala didn't get there, to millennials. Citing data from the Federal Reserve, Freddie Mac reports that boomers hold 50% of all home equity. 75% of the boomers are planning to leave their current home or the proceeds of its sale to their children or family members after they pass on. Freddie Mac reports that 83% of surveyed homeowners who currently have or used to have a fixed rate mortgage overwhelmingly agree that it has allowed them to steadily build wealth over time. This is why property and home ownership is so important to a family's legacy, especially those who were able to take advantage of the GI Bills and all those government programs in the 50s and 60s where you got a home for $5,000, now it's worth $2 million today. Half of all boomer homeowners in the US already own their home outright, and more than half of those still paying it off have mortgage rates below 4%. In the last 50 years, the home price to median household income ratio has more than doubled from 3.65 in 1974 to 7.25 at the end of 2024. I think I remember my dad when he bought his dream home at what, 400 something thousand, now it's worth more than 2 million. And that's just 30 years. Clearly, the baby boomer generation has benefited from our country's unique housing finance system. And it is imperative that we ensure the system remains in place to help boomers and the many generations that follow. Interesting. Then we got U.S. Senator vows to reverse harm SEC's Gary Gensler inflicted on crypto. I agree with that. So a U.S. Senator vowed to undo. It's probably a Republican. I don't even know. Is it going to be Cynthia Lummis? No, she's not a senator. Is she a senator or a representative? Who are they talking about? Who's going to do this? Oh, Tim Scott? U.S. Senator Tim Scott voiced his support for Paul Atkins' nomination to a prominent financial regulatory role in a statement on social media, criticizing the SEC. Paul Atkins' extensive experience in financial regulation will be critical to reversing the harm Chair Gary Gensler has done to our capital markets and U.S. economy. I look forward to working with my colleagues to quickly consider his nomination. President-elect Donald Trump has nominated Paul Atkins, a former SEC commissioner and crypto advocate, to lead the SEC. I agree with that. Atkins, who served from 2002 to 2008, is known for supporting financial innovation. Okay, here's a trick question. When was the Bitcoin white paper released? Anybody know what that is? Write that down. When was the Bitcoin white paper released? A vocal advocate for crypto, Scott has consistently pushed for policies that foster blockchain development in the U.S., highlighting his commitment to advancing a regulatory framework that prioritizes innovation. He stated in December 2024. That is correct, 2009. Crypto has the potential to democratize the financial world. I look forward to working with President Trump, David Sachs, and my colleagues in Congress to develop a regulatory framework, says Tim Scott. Gensler, who has led the SEC during a period of heightened scrutiny of the crypto sector, remains unpopular within the industry. Yeah, he did himself no favors. He could have wrote himself an 8-figure check had he been more friendly and then retired from the public sector and to go into the private. Now, there is no crypto firm is going to hire Gary Gensler. I predict he'll go back to teaching, and I don't know where, because before he was in the SEC, he was a professor and he was pro crypto. What changed? All right. Robert Kiyosaki calls it historic crash is here. He's buying more Bitcoin fast. Economic collapse is here. Well, we're going to see tonight about the top 25 risks this year. Well, top 10 risks in 2025, or top risks, period, in 2025. We'll see if that covers it. But Robert Kiyosaki says it's here, urging investors to seize assets like Bitcoin as markets crash. The crash is upon us. Bitcoin is his weapon of choice. Kiyosaki stated on X, I warned y'all, 2013 published Rich Dad's Prophecy. Prophecy predicted the biggest stock market crash in history was coming. How many of you have read that? How many of you read that? Gina, you might be more correct. The white paper released in October 2028. Bitcoin came out January 2009. I'm sorry, 2008. Bitcoin, January 2009. I think you're right on that. It took a while for that white paper to get around. He stressed that crash is now. He linked the current downturn to economic decisions made during the 2008 financial crisis, explaining, how did I know this giant crash was coming? I knew because in 2008, our leaders, led by Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke, paid himself and bankers billions in bonuses, while millions of moms and pops lost their homes, jobs, and savings. Why? What else happened in 2008? Anybody know? Type it in the chat box. What was the biggest thing in 2008? I was even laid off in 2009 because of what happened in 2008. That's right. Financial crisis. The biggest recession since the Great Depression. How many of you have fully recovered since then? Were you bailed out? Businesses too big to fail? Bailed out with taxpayer money? And then what happens here? Robert Kiyosaki called it back then, and he said, look, the Fed paid themselves and bankers, the very people who caused the crash in the first place, for being greedy. The famous author extended his forecast to 2025, signaling that economic troubles are broadening across sectors. In 2025, the car market, housing market, restaurants, retailers, and even wine sales are crashing, making everything worse. The world is on the verge of war. Now, hold on, though. Wait. Donald Trump promised that if he's elected, this is going to be a time of unmitigated peace that America's never seen. But his actions say otherwise. Canada, Mexico, Panama Canal, Greenland. So Kiyosaki is saying the world is on the verge of war. So day one, we got to see what happens. Will Trump be able to stop the Ukraine Russia? The only way I see that stopping the way that he would want is Ukraine is going to have to say, you know what, Russia, yeah, go ahead. You can have that land that you kind of took from us and so that we have peace. Ukraine is going to have to give up their territory for peace. Would America ever do that? If we were in a situation, hey, you got to annex Hawaii to Japan, or we're gonna keep going to war. America would never, we would never lose 1 inch of American soil. So how are we asking Ukraine to do the same thing? Because it ain't us. Despite the bleak outlook, so how's Trump gonna pull that off? I don't know. We'll see on day one. Will Ukraine war stop as he said it would? Will the Gaza war stop as he said it would? We'll see. Many expensive assets such as houses, gold, silver, and Bitcoin will go on sale. I will be buying more real assets with fake US dollars. So think about that. The way he's looking at it, have you guys ever played Monopoly before? One of the things I felt most silliest when I was a kid, my bigger cousins taught us how to play Monopoly. I was 3, 4, 5 years old, little. And I had made so much money and I was so excited. And the ice cream truck was coming down the road and I was ready to go. And I remember my bigger cousin was like, "You ain't got no money." I said, "Yes, I do." And I'm pulling up my Monopoly, and they laughed. And I didn't understand what was so funny. And they're like, "That's not real money. That's just a game. That's fake money." And I didn't understand it at the time. I was like, "Oh, okay." So the way Robert Kiyosaki is seeing it, he sees the US dollar as fake monopoly money and saying that I can take this fake money and go buy real assets with fake money. You got to make that correlation. And that's smart because what if he didn't do that? What happens to his US dollars if he's keeping it in the bank? Is it gaining value every month, every year, or is it losing value? That's a good question. Could the Los Angeles fires cause the crash? Not at its current pace. If half of LA burns, uh, still kind of know what what impact would it really have? Because even though, yeah, the state insurance companies tried to pull out months before, we still have reserves in the state of California itself and the government. You got to think of you need to have a disaster bigger than Katrina. Katrina caused far more damage than the LA fires or a hurricane going across 4 states and leaving a wake of destruction, a path of it in 4 different states. So there's still a budget for that. So it's got to be something. It's got to be bigger than the LA fires. That could be a little test. Kiyosaki also addressed Bitcoin's recent decline, characterizing it as a favorable moment for investment. Yeah, Bitcoin goes down. What do? Buy. He said, Bitcoin crashing, great news. I continue buying Bitcoin because Bitcoin crashing means Bitcoin is on sale. MQT going to $9 means MQT is on sale. That's what it means. Remember, buy low and hold. Kiyosaki emphasized the limited supply of Bitcoin, suggesting that economic downturns can create profitable opportunities for those ready to act. He's correct. He's correct. There's actually a different theory going on about the California fires, about whether it was planned, arson or not. The aftermath. Will those people be able to, if you're not the celebrities that lost your homes, and even if you lost your insurance, they got enough money to recover. But what about the people who don't? There's a lot of people who live in the Pacific Palisades and Malibu area who are not wealthy. Their families just had those properties for the last 70, 80 years. So they're just living on property that is now worth a lot. It's not that they bought that property when it was worth a whole lot. And if they didn't have insurance, they're not going to be able to rebuild. So what type of gentrification or whatever is going to come over there? We got the Olympics coming up in 2028. Hmm. Rebuilding. Hmm. Just saying. Never let in Reagan's terms, never let a good crisis go to waste. Santander, El Salvador's Bitcoin adoption fuels tourism boom. Tell you, El Salvador is going to be one of the wealthiest nations on the planet, and especially in South America. El Salvador's tourism soared in 2024 with Bitcoin adoption and safety reforms, transforming the nation into a global powerhouse. How many you 10, 15 years ago would have said El Salvador and global powerhouse in the same sentence? Wouldn't have even been thought of 10 years ago. Driving unprecedented economic and tourism growth. Santander U.S. Capital Markets LLC, a division of the global financial giant Banco Santander, published a report on January 10th, highlighting El Salvador's remarkable tourism growth, which has been closely tied to the country's embrace of Bitcoin. Headquartered in Spain, one of the world's largest banking groups operates through its various subsidiaries to provide investment insights. So El Salvador is Bitcoin country, and Santander says the tourism numbers prove it. They got the receipts. They're like, we're not just talking about it, we're being about it. As one of the world's leading financial institutions, Banco Santander analysis highlights how El Salvador's cryptocurrency strategy is influencing its broader economy. Tourism contributed 11% to El Salvador's GDP. Has anybody said, yeah, I'm going on vacation? Where are you going? El Salvador. What's the first reaction that comes to you instinctively? El Salvador? Like me saying, I'm from LA. Yeah, I want to go on vacation. Where are you going? I'm going to El Segundo. Huh? South Long Beach. Tourism contributed 11% to El Salvador's GDP in the first half, far surpassing regional competitors like Costa Rica. Costa Rica, that's where my brother's at, where tourism accounts for 5% of GDP. Popular destinations like Surf City and La Libertad, known for its 82% hotel occupancy rates, exemplify the nation's appeal to U.S. tourists. The report underscores how the government's Bitcoin-focused initiatives, paired with security improvements. See, if you know the story back in the day, you wasn't taking tourism down there because they were kidnapping a lot of people for ransom money and whatnot. Now, El Salvador is turning into tourism haven. El Salvador is rapidly becoming a model for integrating cryptocurrency into both tourism and economic development. Smart. I'm telling you, they're going to be the beacon of the South. All right, that is it for Crypto Talk. I am out of time. Uh, what link is that one? Ethereum stalls while Lightchain AI accelerates towards the future of AI. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I want to save that one. Maybe we can do that one on Monday. Okay. So what's happening next? In 15 minutes, I'm opening up the room for the MoveQuest presentation, our Saturday morning one. We'll keep this short, 30 minutes, 40 minutes or less. And tonight, special inner circle call for what are the top risks of 2025 that we must be aware of. And I'll give another disclaimer tonight, but I want to understand that these risks are done by people who, not that it is fact based, it is opinion based. So you guys, as we read this, may have a different opinion on what is being shared because I don't know what they're going to say specific on the topics. And what type of political leaning will it be? So just keep that in mind that we're just going to go over the information and then you will come to your own based on what you believe. Um, your own conclusion and how you want to prepare yourself in case these things do come to pass in 2025. Being prepared. That's all it is being prepared. So that's going to be tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. So with that, I'll see you guys in the move. Oh yeah, and also the we're getting ready to for the 5 day challenge, January, the first one of 2025. The whole focus is going to be on security because we have three new lessons: CBDC, security, and decentralization. So we're going to be taking some of the lessons from our new courses will be covered in this 5 day challenge, and you can get your hands on the courses on the pre-sale. For a set of $750 for 45 lessons, you're getting it for $399 for these three lessons. All right, everybody, take care, and I will see you guys in 10 minutes. Brandon Ivey out. Bye bye.